Alright guys, now we're going to talk to you about the correct way to deflate and fold and roll a basic inflatable. Just like in the previous video we discussed setting up the inflatables, always do safety first, adult supervision. We recommend working in a minimum group of 2. The more people is always easier to work with. Before deflating an inflatable, please make sure that there are no people or persons or objects or anything inside the inflatable, as once it goes down it's very difficult to get anything out, including people. So the first steps you want to do is turn off the blower. So if you walk around to where your blower is in the back, just hit the power switch, turn it off, let it deflate on its own. You can go ahead and disconnect from your power source at this time and unplug the blower from the back of the inflatable just by undoing that strap and pulling it away. You're pretty much done with the actual blower at this point. You can go ahead and secure it and get it ready to return back to your recreation equipment at your place. As the inflatable is deflating, walk around the inflatable, look for any flaps that you may have closed when you were setting this up and open them. This includes any flaps that might be underneath the inflatable itself, such as in the corners that are often missed and allow for a lot of the air to escape through the bottom of the inflatable, allowing gravity to work for you. While there is a little bit of air in the inflatable, it's a good idea to utilize that air to assist you in lifting some of the extra canvas and moving things into a position where it's more of a square-shaped geometric. In other words, folding the inflatable back onto itself to spread the fabric out evenly to make a nice even roll. As you can see, the blow tube is a great access point for air to escape, along with this zipper that's on the very top of the inflatable. If you have on regular shoes, tennis shoes or boots, you can walk on the inflatable at this point to get air to escape out of it. Just be careful that you're not trapping air and launching one person by having a big shift in air pressure. So carefully walk on it, pushing the air out as you go. Once you've removed the majority of the air, locate where your blower tube is, and that is going to be the back of the inflatable. You're always going to roll towards that blow tube. So keep that in mind when you're folding. So in this case, we're going to fold the sides of the inflatable, in this case the right and left sides, to the very middle, while keeping that blower tube out to allow as much air as possible to escape. And they're going to fold directly to the middle without crossing the midline. Good. And they're going to do both sides to the middle. This is a great opportunity to look for hidden flaps that have not been opened at this point as well. The straighter and the more geometric you can keep this inflatable, the easier it will fold and the easier it will roll. This is a great chance to walk the bottom of the inflatable to get as much air out as possible. Alright, now that they've got most of the air out, they're going to fold the left side over the top of the right side. It really doesn't matter which side folds over, but in this case, just make sure you have a plan with your teammate and getting this squared away. And they're going to walk it one more time just to get as much air out as possible. Notice that they're walking towards the blower tube to make sure the air escapes easiest. If they were walking the other direction, the air can become trapped inside the inflatable and make rolling it up much more difficult. Alright, this is a great opportunity at this time. You need to put a strap underneath the end of the inflatable. There is a loop that's been created in the strap. Put that end under first and then fold the inflatable back under, maybe about 3 or 4 feet underneath, so that you have plenty of the strap sticking out, but you also have it underneath a good way. Going to the opposite end, begin rolling this inflatable as tight as you can, kind of like doing a bedroll or a sleeping bag. And we're going to roll all the way to the very end, pressing out the air as you roll. This is where extra people is great. This is a little bit of a difficult process in that sometimes it's a lot of bending over and pushing. Having more people is a great opportunity to jump in there and help make things a little easier. As you get to the end of the roll, you'll start seeing the back end of the strap come up, exposed. Once you've gotten all the air out and you've rolled it all the way to the end, pull that back in the strap, send the end of the strap through the other loop, and you pull it down and cinch it down. And a basic knot is just a basic slip knot to hold it in place. Lots of fancy knots usually take a little bit of time to undo and can cause damage to the strap. Basically just an overhand loop through the bottom of the strap that's on there, pulled through that loop will work just fine, a basic slip knot. When this is done correctly, you should be able to see the name of the inflatable written on the outside. The strap should hold everything securely, and you should be able to roll this inflatable while it is being held by the strap.